Alright folks, let's take a look at the TL-7-120. So this is a premium tier 9 American tank destroyer. Not a medium tank, not a light tank. If you compare the size of the cupola with the 50 caliber to the rest of the vehicle, it's barely bigger than a Astron REX. It also has 4 road wheels like the Astron. So it's classified as a tank destroyer, not a medium tank, not a light tank for that matter. This is about the same size as a T-71. Close enough. It's a lot smaller than something like a Renegade or the medium tanks like the T-69. Yeah, it's bigger than this. This thing has 5 road wheels, whereas something like the T-71, pretty small. Yeah, it's like this, almost. But it's classified as a tank destroyer. Has a large gun for such a small chassis, big ass turret, and slat armor or cage armor for the sides. So defensive against high explosive anti-tank shells or shaped charges, but it's a tank destroyer, I guess. Alright, I mean, we do not have a good premium American tank destroyer at high tier, so I guess it fits. So you must have quit. Alright. It's not a bad looking tank, but kind of looks chunky and small for some reason. But this is the initial stats from about a week ago. They nerfed it a little bit, but let's take a look. So 120mm, 252mm of pin for AP round, 360 alpha. So it's like the 105 on the Renegade, the T-54E2, but it's a 120, I presume. So autoloader, 4 rounds in the clip, 2 seconds between each shot, and for the initial stats of 33 seconds, that's not half bad. So DPM is about 2,300. Pretty respectable without the rammer, of course, but accuracy, average 0.35. Aim time is actually quick for autoloader, 2.1 seconds. Turret traverse speed, 24 degrees per second. It's alright. 10 degrees of gun depression, 15 elevation, and only 36 rounds. So kinda low in terms of ammo count. And if you spam too much, then obviously you'll run out of damage potential. So this ammo count is somewhat low, but as expected from a small vehicle like this. So okay, APCR round is 315. It's alright, but high explosive is 105, which is decent, but the alpha difference is not that much, only 460. It's not like the ship TVP 100 where the high explosive alpha is like 70% more compared to the AP shell. So this is more or less like 30% or less, which is as expected. But yeah, if this thing has like 600 alpha for the high explosive round, it'll be in the same ballpark as the Czech tank destroyer. So not that crazy, but okay. Mobility, 18.6 horsepower per turn ratio, fairly quick. Top speed of 60, reverse of 20, hull traverse of 45. It's practically a medium tank, fast medium tank, or heavy light tank for that matter. So not slow whatsoever, but 1500 health, 100mm at the front, sloped, so it's about 200mm. 200mm for the turret front, but it's rounded, so you should gun depress, increasing the effective armor of your vehicle. But side armor is garbage, side of the turret is garbage, so you should not side scrape. Yeah, it's a very well performing medium tank if you think about it. 380 meters of view range. Since they classified it as a tank destroyer, understandable. And radio is radio, standard, but they nerfed the stats. So let's take a look. But here are the original in-game screenshot With the 100% crew, it's about 2,300 DPM, 0.34 accuracy, 2 seconds of aim time. Very good for such a vehicle, but relatively fast. Camouflage is also not bad, about 15% baseline, so that's the same as a medium tank. But crew of 4 fits all the tank destroyers except for canceling out the extra loader, so you only train 1 loader compared to 2 that you need, but whatever. AP round is not slow, 1,600 meters per second. Gold shell is about 1,500. High explosive is also not slow, so that's good. Only 36 rounds is kinda if, but whatever. Autoloader, yada yada. Alright, everything seems fine, but they nerfed it. They nerfed the stats of how good it is, just because you can just circle around and dump 4 rounds into their rear. So it's a British 120 premium tank, of course. So with a burst about just shy of 1,500 damage per clip, so pretty effective. But this thing is faster than something like T-54E2 or E1. So they changed that from a medium tank to a heavy tank. Yeah, it's faster to aim, better accuracy baseline since I have the crew, so better accuracy baseline, better gun depression, better gun elevation, slightly more pen, and better turret armor, quote unquote. Unproven yet, but it is faster to rev up and faster top speed. So it's faster than this thing, but somehow this is classified as a heavy, even though it should be a medium for a longer time, whatever. But you cannot mount a rammer, so you'll probably put vents, but since it's a closed top, you'll probably have, I would say, the gunner sights to help with the accuracy, the vents for the second slot to help with the survivability enhancement from field modification, and you could put either turbocharger or optics, one of the which. If you feel the speed is good enough, put optics, and it will help in most situations. Turbocharger is helpful for like open field maps to get into position or run away as quickly as you possibly can, but no rammer means no DPM boost, but it's an autoloader. So here are the nerfs to the stats. So they nerfed the dispersion while moving, so maximum from 0.28 to 0.28. What the hell? They nerfed it a little bit. Scope spread, that's from the base of the turret spreading. It's translated from Russian, so kind of weird. They reduce the DPM by increasing the reload time of the drum, so less DPM, from about 2,300 to about 2,000. Kind of suck. Oh well. High explosive rounds got DPM nerfed, of course. Vitality, that's the health of stuff. So module strength got increased, and increased. So less brittle and less vulnerable to artillery splash, etc. Hull traverse speed got dramatically nerfed from like medium tank or light tank to about slow medium tank. So 31 degrees per second isn't that bad, but that's a big nerf. It's like it's like almost 33%. Holy crap. Engine power got nerfed, so horsepower per ton ratio got nerfed, top speed got nerfed, reverse speed got nerfed, and view range got nerfed. So they did not nerf the gun that much, other than DPM. It still has good accuracy, good aim time, gun depression too. The only downside is ammo count. That's a... Unless you spam too much, that shouldn't be a problem. But then again, high tier or tier 9 heavy tanks usually carry about 30-ish rounds. Like the M103, about 33. Same goes with the AE Phase 1, about 40-ish. 40-ish. So 36 rounds is not that bad, but if you spam too much, obviously you don't have that much ammo to work with. But it's not like the Russians with sub 30. So Russian 122 have about 28 or something. So large caliber guns like 30. I know the IS-5 or one of the which has 30. One of them has 28. It might be the IS-3-2. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have that much armor or that much ammo, not armor. But for this vehicle, how much would I rate it? Well, based on the Supertest stats, we do not know the armor for now, but if you play this thing like a medium tank, don't rely on the armor, then it's mostly about the gun and about the mobility. So they nerfed the top speed, nerfed the horsepower per turn ratio, and the hull traverse, but this is pretty insane if you think about it for a tank destroyer. So you could just zip around with a turbocharger and practically dump shells into people's asses. It just take only 30 seconds or so to reload, which is not half bad. But I will probably rate this thing from a premium tank at tier 9 standpoint as like an 8 out of 10. It is a very effective medium tank. Not a tank destroyer based on the penetration and the alpha, but it has the burst. Now with the nerf, how much would I rate it now? They nerfed the top speed, nerfed the horsepower per turn ratio, the view range. All kind of important, but then again, if it's supporting another tank like a heavy, then it's not that big of a deal. They also nerfed the DPM slightly and traversing dispersion. So is that nerf or buff? I cannot tell. Russian translation is weird. They did buff the module health of stuff, but it's still a premium. Are we going to get like a marathon for it? If it is, it's still pretty good of a premium at tier 9 compared to something of a WZ-114 or something. Ugh. But if it's a premium, I will still give it like a 7.5. The only downside I could see is just lack of ammo. And practically it. I mean, if you play this thing like a medium tank without expecting the armor to do much and just rely on the mobility, then it's not a half bad medium tank or light tank for that matter. Just zip around, go to the rear and just dump shells. But it's classified as a tank destroyer, so health is below average, so you don't have that much health to work with. But then again, tier 9 light tanks have about the same amount of health, I guess. Tier 9 lights. Survivability is slightly a little bit more than tier 9 light tanks in terms of health. So you play it as a light tank for that matter. Alright. But yeah, you play it as a light tank. It's not a tank destroyer based on the penetration of the gun, but it's a premium. Makes more credit and crew XP. And with about 2000 baseline DPM after the nerf with vents, you could probably ramp that up to about 2100 or 2200 with food and brothers in arms. So not half bad, but it is still relatively quick. So I'll still give it like a 7.5 or 7. I'll give it a 7. It's decent as a premium tank for tier 9 compared to something of the WZ-114. 7. But if it kept the original stats without the nerf, I would give it like a 7.5, maybe an 8. The only downside I still think of is the low ammo count. Yeah, if you spam too much, you won't make that much credits. But then again, 36 rounds is still somewhat hard to evaporate if you miss all the shots. But then again, if you miss, it's... well, you shouldn't miss that much based on the accuracy and other stuff. They did not nerf the accuracy. They did not nerf the aim time. Yeah, 7 for now, 8 for the original stats because of the nerf to the speed. So for now, 7. It's not a bad premium tank. And American tank destroyers need a good premium at tier 8, 9, and 7. Well, the Scorpion, M56 Scorpion is alright, but it's not that big performing, I guess. So American tank destroyers that are premium. Yeah, only the Scorpion. The Super Hellcat doesn't count. It's not exactly a premium tank. It's more like a reward tank. So you get to train your crew, but there's no credit making capability. Same goes with the T-28 concept. So yeah, we do need a high tier American tank destroyer as a premium, but you could fit one at tier 8. Like the TS-5, but that's more like a super heavy or assault gun of a tank destroyer. Whereas this vehicle is not like a tank destroyer. T-78, that's at tier 6, doesn't count. That's a medium tank. We have a lot of premium American medium tanks, like a lot. Most of them are okay-ish, I guess, but not super overpowered, like the Jumbo Pershing or the Renegade. But yeah, we do miss a tier 8 American tank destroyer that is fast and somewhat plays like a Hellcat at tier 8. So yeah, I guess it's alright. 7 out of 10 for now. So there you go, folks. The TL-7-120 premium American tank destroyer. We're likely going to see this as possible next year's marathon, or I don't know, they could remove the premium status and become a battle pass tank for that matter. So for now, it's a small vehicle, it's a fast vehicle, and the only downside is they nerf the mobility a little bit. But originally, with that mobility as a premium tank, it's pretty good, and effective armor is somewhat trollish for this vehicle. It's 200 rounded, so you will bounce a few shots, but yeah, ammo count, that's my biggest complaint. But other than that, it's fine. So 7 out of 10 for now. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.